Hello again. So in this video, I'm going to start with you the month of the year. Of course, we started together. This is just an explanation of the previous question. And now analyzing the product seasonality. Usually when we're talking about the seasonality of sales, we talk about quarters, we talk about months. So you need to be a little patient and explore both ways, months and seasons. Months and quarters. So if the product sales are approximately the same during each month, they do not exhibit seasonality. However, if the product sales are noticeably higher or lower than average during certain quarters, you see the word average here, I have to highlight that, the product exhibits seasonality. From a marketing standpoint, you must determine not only the presence of seasonality, but also the magnitude of seasonality to more efficiently plan advertising, promotions, and manufacturing decisions investments. Some real-life illustrations of seasonality include the following. For example, the Amazon's fourth quarter, which is almost around the December period, revenues are approximately 33% higher than average quarter. This is because of the spike in sales during Christmas. So again, do you see what I was just telling you right now? With seasonality, you have to look into two things, months and quarters when it comes to business and marketing. Months and quarters. So in the slides, we just look into months, but how about in the video? We look not only into months, but also into quarters together. Tech companies such as Microsoft and Cisco invariably have higher sales during the last month of each quarter, and reach maximum sales. Why is that so? During the last months of the fiscal year, this is because the sales force doesn't get its bonuses unless it meets quarterly or end of the year quotas. Meaning, as a salesperson, you feel like, oh, the quarter just began, you are all relaxed, you aggressive but all relaxed, you still have 2-3 months to go. But when the last month hit, if you don't reach your quota, you're not gonna get your bonus, and usually your salary is not that high. It's the bonus that gives you the lift. So the last month you go crazy, you go like you do double the time so that you can meet your quota. So this is also kind of things that you could expect, yeah, in certain business scenarios. So let's talk about our lovely small bakery data and see how we can take a look at the seasonality of the months. In this exercise, we are going to learn a new technique with Excel. So we're learning, if you guys notice, we're learning techniques with Excel, but also we're learning that lovely tacit marketing knowledge. And also we're learning how to answer questions, real life business questions. So in terms of technicals, we're gonna learn with Excel how to group the data based on months, on quarters, or based on years. So let's begin. All right, so this is our data. If we go to insert and go to the pivot table and start a pivot table in a new worksheet, let's call it seasonality and the trends, and the trend. Over here, guys, I have seasonality and trend already done, but I'm not gonna call this now. I'm just gonna call it seasonality for now, not seasonality. So seasonality, usually we depict seasonality through what, guys? Months and quarters. All right, let's begin. So how do we begin? Oh man, seasonality, what does that mean? That means time series. Oh, what is time series? Time series is when you have the timeline. Usually, if you're plotting it, you plot it on the x-axis horizontally, and it's all the time. So it is a time either in month, in quarters, in the year, in days. But when we're talking seasonality, first of all, we're talking time series, and second, we're talking months or talking quarters. All right? All right. So I'm gonna start with the rows being dates. Now, of course, because I had worked with this before, and I already grouped it, it's just not showing the. Oh man, it's just I prepped for the class even. Oh man, okay. Listen, I think the way that it's gonna be is gonna be. One time I've done it, actually when I dragged a date, it dragged along with it years, quarters, and then uh, the month. So if this happened to you, yours is going to look something like that: 2013, 2014, 2015. And I showed you in class that you, in fact, could get rid of year and get rid of quarters if you want, and then leave date as is like that, or go and select anywhere in the date cell and then go to group, and then you can group it based on a month, for example. So you can select months. So for now, since we're talking about seasonality, please start like that. If your series here doesn't start with January, it doesn't matter, lovely people. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as it's giving me the right aggregation. All right. So as we've done in class, we are going to take all the products, and the bestest and fastest way is to check these rather than drag and drop as I showed you the first class. Now, I believe in class I showed you that unfortunately, even if you select like that, the whole thing, and you show summarize by average, only the first one will be responsive and give me the average of cakes. The others will not be responsive. So you have to be patient, all right? So you gotta be patient and just, okay, do summarize values by average, summarize values by average. Again, summarize values by average. What can you do? Work is work. So, and now, just for aesthetic purposes, let's add professionalism. We have only 2 decimal points. All right, now we are almost done. We have the months over here, and we have the average sales. Again, seasonality, remember, average, seasonality, average, seasonality, time series, seasonality, time series, months, time series, quarters. Okay? So seasonality, time series, months, or time series, quarters, and seasonality also means averaging. All right, lovely people. Now, again and again, I repeat, maybe this is boring for some of you, but hopefully you will find out that for this class, for quizzes, you want to spend that much time studying, because you know what? Repeat it so much, I used to remember. Lovely people, let's begin. How are we going? Tell me anything that you can notice about the seasonality here. Oh man, Sensei, it's so difficult. Of course it's difficult, because a picture worth 1,000 words. So we're gonna go select anywhere on the data, not here. When you want to group, listen up, okay? When you want to group, you group here. You select the date. When you want to insert a chart, you go into the values. So go insert and go insert a pivot chart, and let's talk about which pivot chart. You know what, Sensei? I love bar chart. So I'm gonna create a bar chart. You know what, Sensei? If you do this in the quiz, you're gonna get a 0. You know why? Because in this class we are working on professionalism, meaning we have to learn what is the appropriate chart for each representation, for each context. For time series context, the appropriate chart type is line, especially when we're talking about seasonality. There are exceptions, but When we're talking seasonality, for God's sake, I'm talking also time series. Then line chart. Do not be creative. You're gonna be creative? Be creative with something else, not with my chart. All right, so now we got the chart. Oh, it's so small. Yes, I agree with you. Let's expand it. Oh, now it's better. Okay, you can see better. This is good. In class, we talked a lot, and I was so patient asking you about. Take a look. The change rate here is minimum. Actually, almost no change. So there's no change rate. Over here, there is a change, and we have noticed that I think this one is smoothies. Yes, the purple one is smoothies. So over here, the increase starts from April, which is the spring season. Temperatures go up. Why it is important for you as a business person to look at seasonality, as we've just talked in the slides, it's good for you to predict the number of employees in certain seasons. You hire more. The material, you buy more to meet demand, right? And so on. Now, excuse me, over here you can see that there is seasonality because it is going up and then here going up. So in fact, if we change the arrangements and we start with, for this one, for the purpose of this one, we start with May, we see that down, going up in August, then going down, then going in slightly up, and then going down. So you could actually change the arrangements accordingly. Let me put this in a different video, how to change the order of the months or here in a separate video, because that was a problem in class, and I'm just going to put it and name it in a separate video so that I can refer students to it easily. All right, now this is how you detect seasonality. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the compound rate, the compound annual growth rate. So we're going to talk about seasonality with quarters. We're going to depict that. And then we're going to talk about trends. So for this video, this is all it, and I will see you in the next video.